put those, keep two of them together with the same concept, whether we change or not.
Yeah.
For right now, keep that concept there. That's a start. That's what we started with. Let's continue with that.
Yeah.
To say, let's either upgrade or change it, a bubble or something like that. But right now, those are the two primary attractions that you have
Yeah.
during the summertime.
Yeah.
And that's the question of why have different signage. Let's make sure that we at least have two of them.
Two that are
shown.
the same, and then people
Exactly.
know where those places
And they're
are. Okay.
distinguished,
Yeah.
because if you got baseball fields, they have different signs on them. You got soccer fields, different signs.
Yeah.
We can always say that we're making it subject to what object they're in the business we're taking care of. So let's say that's the swimming areas. You can designate that if we change something.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Right, so,
That makes sense.
so if we don't mind, Dennis, if we can find enough money in the budget, I would.
Yeah, we have some funds that were appropriated for Parks Department use, about $25,000, I think 2 years ago. So certainly it could come from that. Hey Doug, I had a question.
Yeah.
So this is the proposal at this point in time, as far as the makeup of the sign. I know the Open Space and Recreation Committee wanted to make sure that signs were consistent. Is this their recommendation as well?
Well, I have not brought it to the open space committee
Okay.
yet, so that would probably be our next move.
Good, yeah, that would be the
Yeah.
next step so
Yeah.
that we're consistent. I think it definitely makes sense. And the pricing is very reasonable, I thought it'd be much more expensive than that. That's probably not installed, that's just delivered, I'm guessing.
That is installed, yeah, $1,400
Installed?
installed, yeah.
Wow.
That's the reason why
Yeah.
that's what I read. That's,
Yeah.
that's the reason why I
Yeah.
said, get it now.
Yeah, he's very, very reasonably priced, and it's all PVC, so it should last a while.
Yeah, I would make a motion to support the signs for Silver Lake and Arcan Park, subject to any further recommendations that the Open Space Committee has to make sure that they're all consistent, and for that to be paid for out of the Article 1 appropriation for Parks Department use.
Okay.
Anybody want to make a second?
I'll second that.
All those
Okay.
in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great. So at our next open space meeting is on the books.
That's on conservation and open space, right?
Yeah, conservation open space. I don't think we're meeting again until January, no, yeah, January 13th.
Similar,
But I'll send it out ahead of time.
please.
Well, they want something that's consistent, obviously, with the properties that they'll be recommending signage on, so it's,
Yep.
yeah, good. Hey, can
And
you
we-
give us a little update, Doug, on the group that's recently been formed, that's a spin-off from the Open Space Commission that the select board appointed recently?
Yep, they formalized an open space and recreation committee. The committee is made up of one Parks Commission representative, so that's myself, one Board of Select and representative, which I think is Jen Alamonte. And then there's 3 existing members kind of that ad hoc open space committee or plan committee that are on it, and then one new person that had expressed interest in Conservation Commission. There weren't any spots available, but was glad to join the Open Space and Recreation Plan Committee, so.
Committee's purpose is to try and move forward some of the things that are in the plan.
Correct, yeah, we met and approved the plan last week, and I believe at the next upcoming select board meeting, they're going to present that approval to them. And yeah, like you said, we're gonna meet probably at least quarterly and review progress on the plan, just to make sure that it doesn't become a stagnant document, and make sure that, you know, the action items and goals in there get, pushed along.
Good. Jesse had an update on some of the discussions they've had with the school administration about maintenance of fields and such. I'm gonna just I'm gonna mute myself and give him a call and find out if he's on his way or what's going on.
Okay. And then with that in mind, though, Hannah, the conservation agent, so she's the primary one kind of putting together the open space and recreation plan. She asked for our approval of it, so I drafted a letter that we could all sign if you're in favor of it. Just basically, I think it's similar to what you had done last time, Bill. It just says that we approve the plan. And I'll get this to Dennis to sign as well.
I don't use fine tip anymore. Make forward.
We'll wait for Dennis to see if he gets a hold of Jesse.
I started getting about 5 years ago.
What?
Somebody says I can Xerox off your signature clear enough.
Oh.
And I was using the fine tip.
Oh.
all the time. And it was that 3-piece suit routine of mine for years.
Yeah.
And somebody turned around and said they couldn't get it Xerox properly. I said, I gotta correct that. Now they even make the bold and black, so I cross doesn't look like that, no.
The old cross
And
pen.
Jesse's on his way.
He is, okay.
Yeah, Katie, in the future, can you CC him on when you're sending the agenda information out to us? Can you CC Jesse as well, just so he's aware in case it's something he wants to present to us?
Okay.
He
All
should,
right,
he should be up in a couple
all right,
minutes.
I think the next item that we had on our agenda was website updates.
Yes, you got a batch of them, did I?
I do, yes.
Okay,
My
question,
yeah, but
go ahead.
so I looked at the website, I just thought it would be good to add, like on the homepage, kind of about the commission, our mission. I haven't done anything yet, so.
Because it's off this system totally, right?
No, it's not, the Parks Commission's on the new website, yeah.
Just the 3 guys, it wasn't, I didn't notice how it was set up, like it used to be.
Yeah, it's basic, it just says Parks Commission and then there's our names.
Yes.
And then like a link to the minutes and stuff.
Right.
But so at least and then on the left side, there's a bunch of links that you had already had before.
Because I didn't see that, like the web's page was for the parks, like it used to be, and I said, where'd they put it?
Yeah, I think everything that was there is there now, it's just the layout's a little.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's listed as activities,
I didn't see.
Yeah.
I saw some activities, but
Yeah.
I didn't see.
which has all the locations. So I didn't know, is there more information or a mission statement or something that, you know, explains what the Parks Commission is, or is it some, you know what I'm saying? Like usually when a commission's charged,
Right.
it has, do you know where that exists?
And,
It doesn't. I'm not aware of it, Bill.
No,
Are
I
you?
don't think so, but that, we faked it for years, so. But,
Yeah,
because
I
it
don't
was-
believe there's anything.
Anything that was
done.
left over went on this board, yes.
Yeah. All right, well,
Yeah, when the charter was adopted, in '93, a lot of the authority went to the DPW director. But
Okay.
yeah,
so I looked at some other like Parks and Recreation commissions and kind of grabbed some language from them. So this is something I'll share with everyone and you can edit it or let me know if you want edited. So I figured on the homepage it'd be good to have that, like about the commission, what our mission is, right? And then, on the left side right now, it says activities, and if you click on activities, it takes you to all the locations. I think that's what you were referencing.
Right, that's what I was trying to
So,
update.
yeah, so I wanted to see if we could change that from saying activities to just parks and recreation areas, right?
That's
So
exactly what
someone
it
would
originally
click,
was,
yeah, someone would click on that and then it would bring them to the whole list, right?
But I mean, we had it set up, so we're supposed to be able to, link into the different programs, how to get there. And,
So they have that, you have the local sports organizations, that's
Yeah,
a
that's
separate,
separate.
that's a separate link, yeah.
because we have no control over guidelines, we are we allow them to associate with the town,
Yeah,
but they are a separate entity that we suggest to them how they're gonna behave. And
Yeah.
treat our children in town.
yeah,
That's what it's about. I mean, it leaves the fact that they are attached to us to say that they're utilizing the town property.
yeah, I know, what you mean.
Right, so,
Let me bring up it's easy to talk.
because I looked at it a couple of times and I couldn't find how to get to what I was looking for. I know it used to be on there.
Yeah. And then, yeah, then I figured we just, add, I think we gotta update the link to the obtain a beach parking pass. Not that they can do it right now anyway, but
Right, but I mean, it had to be updated.
yes, just seems like an old link. And then, we can add a link on the left side to open space committee, you can add a link to there's a trail story map that,
Yes.
our
we got
GIS
that,
department had, yeah, so we can add
Yeah.
that, yep. And then we can either add a link to the permit form or we can see if someone can make like a fillable form of this permit on the website, then that would go to our parks email address.
That's fine.
Yeah. That was kind of my thoughts. And then just the local sports organizations.
Yeah, that all has to be up.
Yeah.
I mean,
So my general overall comment was just like, let's remove all personal name, numbers, email addresses, because those change so frequently that we don't need to keep updating that. And then,
you mean for the individuals? No, we don't mean.
Yeah.
The organization.
yeah, we
They
just
have,
kind of,
they have their individual websites.
yeah, most of them had websites, so it's
The
just
only
really
ones
just
that we need
updating. the
When they
links.
submit their permits, that we keep a list to say, hey, Joe, we have to keep you on the list for our personal use. be able to
As a contact, yeah,
Yes,
that's the,
internal.
yeah, yep,
Speaking of the good man.
there he is.
Apologies, I'm late. I
No worries.
totally missed putting it on my calendar, apparently.
It's all right, we're conserving electric,
That's it. Would you like me to turn the rest of the lights on?
unless you want to decide. Steve, go ahead.
No, it's easy, we're on Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Got it. All right.
I hate the fluorescent thing.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Jesse?
Hey Dennis, how you doing today?
Good. I was talking to the board about, in general terms, that you had some conversations with the school department and you were going back in discussions about who's gonna take care of what as far as responsibilities go, and I thought it'd be good if you could share a little.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I may, so we've had some, about a year and a half ago or so, we ended up having an agreement with the schools, pertaining to Blackstone Street, where they would take over the maintenance, the upkeep of, the school facilities and all the other facilities along Blackstone Street. To just make sure, the fields are properly, maintained ahead of games and things of that nature. There was always a little bit of back and forth on, the schools would have a game scheduled, we might not have been aware of it. So it wasn't quite meeting the expectation. So at the time, it made sense to, have this agreement. And with that, also the benefit of, we're off of Blackstone Street entirely. They'll also take care of the COA, police, fire, that type of thing. What had come up more recently was the possibility of, there's some overlap where now school is taking care of some of the municipal sites, but also the DPW is still taking care of some of the school sites on the other side of town. So One of the things that we talked about was the possibility of, essentially having the school take over all schools, properties, and DPW/parks taking over the maintenance of, anything or police, fire, COA, things of that nature. So we actually had a great conversation with the schools on this. And we'd like to actually memorialize it in the form of a memo, just so there's a clear understanding of what the expectation is there. I think we're in a good position, where the conversations have been great. Everybody wants to, work well together, and we have been. I think just, we've got some areas of gray that we've been getting input from our parks foreman, for example, some of the deficiencies that we see, and try to kind of highlight them now, even when it comes to some of the parks, who's maintaining some of these smaller parks that may be on school property for that matter.
Yeah.
In the conversations that we've had with the school so far, is they're actually interested in taking the maintenance and upkeep of those over as well.
Okay.
So one thing that they did ask was, if we're doing, an overview, repairs, maintenance, things of that nature for all the parks in town, that we keep them as part of that if we're doing them anyways. And essentially, we didn't say no to it, but we'd have to map that out. So if we're getting these reports compiled, if we're doing it in-house, it's one thing. If we have the need to potentially outsource it, for example, it might be as simple as delineating, who's responsible for what park, and sending the invoice appropriately. So
Okay, so you're saying like the inspections that we just did, right?
Correct.
If some of those parks that were inspected fell under schools, then they would get invoiced.
that's correct.
Gotcha.
Yep, and we did also share with them that obviously, I'm sure that the committee's aware of, but we did move forward with a request. It obviously has to wait until town meeting to officially approve it or not. But with that, some of these locations, may end up going to the schools. So some sort of a fair selection or separation on what's being addressed with the sum of money before it's officially taken over. Those conversations can be had prior to that time. So
Okay.
if we're able to authorize the money for spending, which sites are we going to prioritize? And, obviously we want to work well with the schools. So we don't want to just say, we're not doing anything now because you're getting it, but at the same token, maybe evenly disperse it amongst the facilities that we have.
Okay. So whose court is the kind of drafting the MOU?
So I actually have it somewhat drafted currently. It's not finalized just yet, but I did want to have another conversation with our parks foreman before finalizing anything. And if the committee is interested in seeing it ahead of time, I'd certainly be happy to share that as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, see, we got some oddball situations in town, as you know. We have a town common trustees that's responsible for the town common. But obviously, they don't have the ability really to get any work done. And the Parks Commission basically, the Parks Department under Joe mows it and that sort of thing. And recently, I know there was a defect with one of the swings. And there was a lot of talk back and forth. That's the town common trustees problem. It's not the parks problem. Hopefully we can find a way. Technically, by statute, it falls under the town common trustees, but hopefully we can find a way to make sure, that things are resolved, and not gone back and forth. I don't know what they have for a budget, but Joe should be including that with his inspections. That shouldn't be left out just because it falls under the town common trustees, you know what I'm saying? Along obviously with Silver Lake, same thing. I know he does there. Technically, that's conservation land, but the Parks Department takes care of it. So we want to make sure that those things don't slip through the cracks.
No, and those are great points. So Silver Lake Park, for example, I am sure that was part of this recent report that when the inspections were done. As far as the town common, I believe that was as well, but I can certainly
That one was, yeah.
verify that it was. Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. But
Does it make sense then, at least for the town common trustees, to have a similar kind of memorandum of understanding of
It sounds like it would make sense, and with that being said, Dennis, to your point, Silver Lake, so maybe we do 3 separate, MOAs on that, because I agree, we've struggled with, that separation in the past, because even the town common, for example, they also hire, individuals for maintenance and upkeep up there. We've had situations in the past where, they were doing work in the area and, a resident wasn't, pleased with the work that was done, reached out to the DPW/parks at the time, and come to find out, long story short, it wasn't us at all. So I agree. I think we need to have some conversations with that committee and just get a better understanding on what their involvement is and where, we should be picking up or providing assistance. So yeah, certainly.
Yeah, Jesse, I know that we have another informal arrangement with them where they pay for, I believe they pay for the fertilizer and the grass seed for the year. So all those types of things should be incorporated, obviously, into that to make sure that, that continues, onward. Um, I noticed there's still, on the toddler slide at Silver Lake, there's still that defect on one of the slides where the pipe at the bottom comes through. And there's been that, caution tape on it for months. So I don't know if that's coming or what, but pretty soon it's gonna, if it hasn't already protruded through, it's gonna. So that's one of the things. Hopefully you can get an update on Joe on that. I know he said he had ordered, a new slide for that.
Yep, absolutely. I'll check back in with Joe for a status update on that. I was under the impression that that was already underway and we were not, waiting for the funds to be approved. But certainly we can move forward with that if it hasn't already been
No,
done.
that's,
for operating
and
budget.
that's short money. That's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a little slide. If it came to that, we still have that previous appropriation that we could take it from, that Article 1 appropriation from a couple of years ago, I believe is still there.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's,
Hey,
you had mentioned that
The
last time.
dam looks great, by the way.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. We reached out about the possibility, actually, Doug, I think I might have mentioned it to you in passing. We were looking at actually replacing the stop logs with aluminum stop logs in the lifting mechanism. Believe it or not, it was upward of $80,000 for a change order. So we we pumped the brakes on that, but we are looking at another option to, just have a better setup, reestablishing the lifting mechanism for the wood planks there. But yeah, very surprised at how expensive that was going to be to move forward with.
The
Yeah,
aluminum,
it was like that was the contractors trying to make up a few bucks, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, well done by the contract. Everything else, yeah, they did an
Yeah,
exceptional
they did a
job.
nice job, from what I can see anyway. I know you get a punch list for the spring.
Yes, yep.
Well, and the water level,
I'm sorry.
the water level is lowered already.
Yes, yeah. So actually typically November 1st, we would be starting to drop the level because of the project that was already down. So yeah, it's yep, it is good to go until next season.
I know, that's good.
it's come back up, right? Cause I think you added one board. Do you usually have?
Yeah, so I believe as part of the project, we dropped it lower than it would typically be,
Yeah.
but back up to,
It's back
where
up to normal.
it's normal low. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, it filled up quickly. Recent rain.
we needed it. Yeah, now if we can only get out of the drought.
Yeah, something that we had talked about early before you came was signage, Jesse. So that's kind of, I'd reached out to Signs by Cam.
Nice.
With our thoughts on just trying to get a standardized sign and start at Silver Lake in both Silver Lake and Arcan Park. So that was something that he drafted up for us. He said it would, I think it was just over $1,400 installed.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, so that's something that we're gonna look, I'm gonna present it to the Open Space and Recreation Plan Committee. And get their buy-in, and then if they agree, then that would be something that we would look for you guys to fund out of, that Article 1 appropriation that we have.
That's terrific.
for
So it's
something
not an
in the
Article 1,
spring.
Jesse. It's a capital under 50,000 appropriation. It's from
Yeah.
like a year and a half ago.
That's what I was good.
Yeah.
Perfect. I will pull that account up and I'm sure at
Yeah.
$1,400, that's not a
Yeah.
There'll
huge
be
expense
two
for that.
slides for that.
Yeah, so just hold, I just want, that's an
Yeah,
example,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'll reach out to you,
Yeah.
once we get the okay from, the Open Space Plan, Committee, and then.
I'm gonna look to do that in the spring. Make sure we just put a temporary hold on those funds for that time period.
And what are the locations for this?
That's
So
like,
Silver
Both
Lake,
for Silver Lake?
one for Silver Lake and one for Arkham.
Silver Lake and Arcan, great.
Then obviously the thought being that as future signs are needed, that we would stick with kind of a standard sign. That way everyone, recognizes in the future, this is a Bellingham Parks or location.
On the conversation of signs, and I'm sure that the committee's been aware that we've received requests for signage on Cross Street for Silver Lake Park. We do have one sign in existence, and I'm not quite sure if it's something that the Parks Committee was involved with previously or things of that nature. But is that something that was brought forth just on the topic of signs?
what sign?
Yeah, what sign are you? There's a lot of signs over at Silver Lake.
So, I'm sorry, on Cross Street, there's actually
Sorry.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
street sign for
Oh,
the
that-
park itself.
Yeah.
A street, so a street sign for the park.
For Silver Lake, yeah, it's.
Like it would be at the
Brown
entrance.
ones,
Right.
yeah.
No,
You're talking
From the
about those
corner.
brown ones? Those
Yeah, the brown
brown
ones, that's
signs?
exactly right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's, I think it's, Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's at the intersection of, Cross Street and Center Street.
yes.
The request was for the opposite end, to consider putting one at Lake Street. And,
Both ends.
correct, yeah, yeah.
It's a very good idea.
Yeah, I've seen that one on top of the street.
And I don't know if that's something that, the committee, if there's involvement, if there's any sort of standardization on those as well, if we're on the topic.
Be a good subject to talk about.
Yeah.
Excellent, okay.
So we'll take a good look at that.
Do you guys make those smaller signs in-house or do you have a company?
We have a company take care of our signs, yeah. We can certainly have it made up,
Okay.
if it's something that, is very
Big
fun.
size,
I'm sorry.
with the general street size.
The aluminum
Yeah,
like street sign?
Yeah, exactly. But just food for thought, just if,
No,
other
that's a good
topics.
idea. It's a
Yeah.
good idea. Well, I know the sign's out there, so.
Yep.
It would be nice to have one on the other end of the street to say, hey, we're just not pointing one direction. They'll get lost at the other end.
Right. And if there's a standard,
Yes.
that the committee would like to see, obviously, we'd want to incorporate that, and that way we don't have a red one on one end and a green one on the other end.
Yeah, but I think it was brown, right?
It was,
Brown with white
yeah,
lettering.
yeah, exactly.
And I assume that you would like all like street signs to kind of follow like the MUTCD, right?
That is
So it's brown with white lettering, kind of the standard for that type of a sign.
So I think this is gonna fall under more of the atypical, grouping for specialty signs, if you will. It's not gonna follow the reflective, standards for, say, roadway, speed limit signs, things of that nature.
Yeah.
I believe there is a provision that allows for these types of specialty signs. And coloring is gonna be part of that requirement. So if it's worth considering, maybe I can bring the MUTCD guidance on that.
Yeah,
Maybe we could create a blanket or a template that we'd like to see based off the MUTCD guidance.
yeah, that'd be helpful.
And typically, something like that does actually require, with the revisions, select board approval. So if we do find it's something that we want to move forward on, that is something that would be added to the select board agenda for authorization.
Okay.
Right. Very good.
Hey, Jesse, to switch topics, since we got you here.
Yes.
What is the plan? I know we used to hire a lot of part-time seasonal employees and it became a little unruly to manage because so many working half days and different things. And we went to more full-time, but we weren't able to fill all the slots for the summer help. I know Sean handles it. Sean's, typically would be involved in the hiring there, but have you guys talked about that at all for next year? Because I think we were short bodies this year, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. I think we were 2 to 3 short this year. And I think the key to it, honestly, is gonna be just trying to get ahead of it. Are you talking, Dennis? I'm sorry, for the stormwater, or are you talking about for the parks portion? Apologies.
Kind of both. I think we were behind on both because I see we weren't able to keep up with the stormwater, but it seemed like you were struggling to keep up with the parks as well. I thought we were short on both, and I know you mix and match the stormwater if they need to go and cut the cemeteries, they do.
Yeah, so with the stormwater, I think it's two different things. So as far as staffing, with the stormwater, I think the response is just going to be, we've got to get on this earlier. We've got to, get the interest out there. Touch base with those that kind of get the word out. Just try to get ahead of it for next season. Certainly, something I think we could probably plan a little bit better for to get ahead of that one there. On the park side, it's kind of interesting because the season's a little bit different. It doesn't just fall under those summer months. And we're looking at the potential for some, individuals maybe moving on. I think we're going to have to really reevaluate, how we have it structured now and how we can incentivize that because, it's a great position, but it's also only, a temporary position. It's not a year round. So it's certainly something that, individuals are going to want that seasonal type work as opposed to, year-round commitment. So I think, we could potentially have some issues coming up with that. We could post it accordingly. Again, I think getting on it early is going to be key. But how we might be able to better incentivize that, or attract hires that are interested in that seasonal type work. Yeah, it is going to be interesting. That's certainly going to be a challenge.
And that would be,
Yeah, hitting that senior class really helps, that senior high school class. We used to, because then they keep it through college, so they have 4 years. They're here the middle of May and at least they're here till Labor Day anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I think that one, the stormwater, quote unquote kids are going to be the easier ones to, maybe get more individuals involved. I think, again, just being involved with it early on, getting a larger pool to pull from, certainly something we can work with. I think it's just going to be the ones that are outside of that, it's going
The
to be a
10
little.
months.
yeah, we
Yeah.
need someone from pretty much April through October.
October, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
So.
that's not gonna be your high school or college grad.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And I don't know for sure what's going to happen with people returning and things of that nature, but it sounds like there might be a possibility that not everybody's going to return. I don't know that for sure just yet. I hope that's not the case, but it's something that we run across every year. But
So historically, you've only filled those positions probably from May through September, those parks positions, not the stormwater ones.
yeah, so we've actually got they come in waves, if you will. There are some that come a little bit earlier, and then the second wave comes 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
With all of them, for the most part, ending by the end of October at the latest.
Okay.
So yeah, they're effectively all done. With the caveat, I should add, we were successful in funding one of the positions year round. So Joe is fun. He's our DPD, our parks four-person. He is year-round, but he has an assistant that is also year-round now.
Okay.
So we do have two individuals
Yeah.
that are here, and there are situations that come up that require parks assistance. One that I can think of offhand is the Christmas decorations, for example. Parks is involved with that. Prior to having this arrangement, it was challenging, or you'd have to work with them to come in during their off season to not only put the decorations up but also take them down. So we've been successful in funding that year round. And we've also received the benefit of having them plow as a result as well. So in the
Yeah.
event that
That's good.
we need additional drivers, we do always have that to tap into. So it's certainly something that I think selfishly from a maintenance standpoint, it would be great to see, but that's something that, obviously budgetary requests, things of that nature would all come out in the wash.
Yeah, yeah. If you had, if you could hire, how many people would you want fully staffed on that department?
Full-time year
Yeah,
round?
full-time.
Yeah, I mean, so I've actually gone to the Parks four-person to kind of get a list of items that he would like to see happen, after the season has officially ended. Obviously, he's keeping busy with DPW tasks, parks as they arise, and same with his assistant. But if we were to have the ability to fund this, what would those additional tasks look like? So
Yeah.
he is actively working on that. But I think, to we'd probably start small, you know, if this was something that we were successful in, you know, entertaining, it would be, you know, maybe the first year would go from 2 to 3 or 4. You know, I know there are other communities that have parks positions staffed year round. But typically they're coupled with other tasks as well, you know, might be parks slash cemeteries.
Yeah,
It really doesn't help us on this one because Bellingham cemeteries are also closed in the winter time, so that's not a justification for the off season, but you know, those are items that we would certainly look to couple with it, and also, you know, potentially incentivize the position's salary if there are more tasks involved with it, or maybe there's a hoisting license, you know, it might be more of a justification or a need for those types of positions to pay them accordingly. But again, these are things that I would love to present, but it really comes down to what's available and if there's a need for it. But we are actively working on it, you know, just to get a list of activities that would be great to see, and what that might look like.
Do you think this better understanding with schools and those fields is kind of helping this situation a little bit better, or?
I think so.
Okay.
You know, we saw a great response with the initial agreement to, you know, give that up, but also take more responsibility in some of the other areas. I think the end result was, you know, better handled or better addressed maintenance. You know, we were just more effective, more efficient. I think moving in that direction with these types of modifications is just going to further that. I think, um, you know, we're going to see the same level of commitment, just different locations that we'll be addressing as a result. So I know our Parks foreperson, for example, Joe, takes maintenance very seriously. You know, it's in the public's eyes. He wants to make sure that, you know, he's providing the level of service that the public expects. So I think we're going to see a great response as a result of that. And obviously, with the schools maintaining the schools as they have been, they're going to have a better understanding of what their schedules look like and getting ahead of those.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Jesse, when you do that memorandum with the schools, you better make sure that the basins that are on their property are identified. I'm sure they're gonna want stormwater to continue doing them, I would imagine anyway.
Excellent point. I will certainly bring that forward. Thank you, Dennis.
But if they wanna do them, say thank you.
Yep, great point.
Some good visible
Especially
ones
the one in
too.
front of the middle school.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
will
looking
say,
good.
oops, sorry.
It's been looking good, the one in front of the middle school. I know they've been trying to pay attention to it.
Excellent. No, glad to hear that. That was a real hurdle when it first went in, but yeah, it seems to be at least going in the right direction.
functioning properly.
Right.
Not holding water anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Any other updates for us?
Yeah, like I said, you know, just following these reports that we received for the safety, you know, or the items to be addressed, we did move forward with, we were successful with capital and finance, meeting with the select board this afternoon, as a matter of fact, this evening, just to discuss funding, capital request for funding to address some of these items. I'm sure it won't take care of everything, but it'll be a move in the right direction.
Good.
Yeah, aside from that, again, it's now November, so we've lost pretty much all of our staffing aside from Joe and Cam. So parks tasks are somewhat still happening, but the bulk of them have wrapped up for the season. So as they come up sporadically, we will be addressing them, but you know, mowing, things of that nature is obviously wrapped up for the year. You know, but
Systems closed down, water systems.
yes, so Joe was working through winterizing all the parks systems, and there are some schools that we would always need to be involved with because it's water related. Typically, it was, you know, historically it was our service crew previously, and once Joe moved over to the parks division, he just kept with that task, knowing where all the stations were and all the work that had to be done with it. But cross training is also something that we do. So taking an individual from the water department and or water division and training them up as he goes along.
Right, very good. But I was interested to make sure we had closed down systems If it's gonna be in the next couple of weeks, we start getting it free.
Absolutely.
Pull the meters and blow out the system.
Yeah. Yeah, and this year, actually, we went back to, using, we do have an air compressor, but in years, in recent history, I should say,
I
we,
still,
we were actually, outsourcing, this year, he actually went back to blowing them out with our, air compressor, removing the meters we've always done, but, also the splash pad, on that note, was something that we, historically had the vendor coming in and taking care of winterizing the splash pad. It's now something that we take care of, so, good to have, the Parks Department involved with it,
Yeah.
learning how to do it and doing it properly, because, if you don't, as you know, it gets quite costly.
in the summer.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
don't have to fix it.
right, exactly, so, yeah, we'll look to, continue on with that, learn from, what we've done in the past, and just keep, progressing towards the better.
Right. I just wanna make sure the tanks get drained, that's all. So.
Yes, yeah,
All right,
Perfect.
good, thank you.
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right, thank you all. And so for the next meeting, I will plan to have some updates, including MUTCD guidance, what that agreement, that draft agreement might look like, and we'll go from there. But that would be fantastic, and I appreciate the input.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you very
Yeah.
much.
All right, thank you all.
Jesse, Katie's gonna be copying you from now on, whenever anything comes out to us, you'll be CC'd.
Okay, terrific. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Good, thank you.
Thank you. And
Good luck.
Katie, on that note, we actually have a couple other committees that have vacancies, so we'll continue the conversation if interested. Excellent. Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, new business? Do you have anything new?
No, when we're talking about upgrading the website,
Yeah, oh, yes.
and continue with that.
Yep.
But I'll take a look at that and talk about it and confirm that the outside organizations, the local sport organizations have to give us proper information like usual. So we can get it posted where it's supposed to be.
Yes, yeah, yeah, so when they do their permits, we'll have contacts
Right.
internally, but for posting,
Posting on the
Yeah.
website that we carry for them,
yeah,
to it associates to back to them.
Yeah.
We have to upgrade that.
yes, yeah, and I went through and, I think I got most of them. A lot of the links were already good. So the ones that I, put on here were the ones that needed to be updated. Dennis, who can we reach out to for any website updates? Is that Karen?
Karen,
Yeah, I would reach out to Karen directly, Doug.
Okay,
Let her know what you're looking to do, and she'll have a conversation with you about the best way to get it done. But typically she would be the one you'd contact initially anyway.
yeah, all right. So I'll send this out to you guys, so you can review it, and if you have any updates about kind of the mission statement or anything else you want to add, let me know, and then I'll start conversations with Karen on to get some stuff updated. Yeah,
I agree.
I'm not doing that.
Thank you.
The only new business thing I had was on November 15th at 9 AM. The Hannah Chase, an open space and recreation planning committee are looking to do a cleanup of Arcan Park.
Very good.
So if you would like, you can join.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'll be up in the woods in New York State.
Hunting?
I hope so.
Nice.
I hope so. That's first day of deer season.
Yeah,
So I will be there. God willing, the creek don't rise.
good. And then the other thing I had that we were talking about earlier was that use of the Highwood Scout Camp. Is that what you
Yes,
called it?
yes.
Yeah. So Dennis, we had a group reach out from Hopedale. They from
Yes,
Hopedale?
they're from Hopedale.
A troop from Hopedale reached out and they wanted to use that Highwood Scout Camp. So Bill and I discussed that.
I'll go over this week and with the leaves falling, I want to see how Barrett's gonna get.
Yeah,
Because it used to be the joke of it, one of the rooms was a young lady's room. So the senior boys would take care of that. I more or less that camp area.
Yeah, I guess,
So they enjoyed the view of the stars at night.
yeah.
There's no leaves. Yeah, so,
So, yeah, just, yeah, let me know if there's a restriction on season.
right,
Use.
there's no restriction on the season, it's just
Yeah.
a fact.
Is there enough buffer between the homes and the camp?
Yes and no. That's the answer, yes, and no, but I don't know who the owners are presently.
Yeah.
Whether they've changed recently. And I don't know, where we're gonna set up the camp. Inside that woodlot,
Well, there's already infrastructure out there, right? Or at some point,
and there's somewhat
That's
leftovers.
yeah,
Like I said, the wood structures that were built for the camp council area to say that you'll have a group of boys sitting around the campfire.
Yeah.
For a council meeting, that's more or less a little bit rotten,
Okay.
so, it hasn't been
so
upgraded.
needs some work.
Right, but the scouts were supposed to maintain that. The Eagle Scout that did that project years ago
Yeah.
would probably be about almost 30 by now.
Yeah, and I know, obviously Troop 14 hasn't used it, and it's been a number of years since
Yes.
the other troops in town probably have used it. When
And,
they were.
But I know, like I said, Mr. Booth was the council, was the representative to council out of Hopedale, and I've known him for 30-some years, so he knows the campsite is there, and they went to come over one time, and somebody says, well, that's because we wanted them to walk from Silver Lake, stay overnight at the campsite at the scout camp. That was usually for scout camp area, then take another couple, mile and a half walk and go down to Arcan, and that was what it was a training session, open camp at Silver Lake.
Yeah,
Great camp at Silver Lake, travel down to,
oh, cool.
do a mile and a half hike down the road and all that stuff. Get up in the woods, set up camp again, stay the day, then go back down to our camp.
Yeah.
Do the same routine. It's a nice trip, and you're only traveling 4 miles.
Yeah, yeah,
So, I mean, it was nice to do that, that somebody said, well, we're not walking far enough. So what's the difference?
That's true.
It's, we're trying to set up campsites is what it is and participate as a group.
okay.
That's what it's really meant for.
So I'll reach back out to them, I'll forward them the application for use, and then I'll just note that we're not sure of the current condition of the camp, so.
Well, it's a wilderness campsite.
Yeah, it's a wilderness campsite.
All right, and conservation has no hidden plants over there for problems. That's what's nice about it.
Yeah. All right,
There are bees in the summertime.
well, there's bees everywhere.
Oh, yes. I knocked that big hives out for
Oh,
them
really?
last time.
It's called the Highwood Scout Camp.
I think so, is that what you would call it, the Highwood Scout Camp, or did you have a different name?
They
for it?
had the Eagle Hill,
Eagle Hill?
or Egg Hill, I'm sorry, Egg Hill.
Where is
Camp. That's off of the, High Ridge.
High Ridge, yeah, High Ridge,
High
sorry.
Ridge.
That's what I meant to say, High
Yeah.
Ridge Scout Camp, yeah, off High Ridge Road.
Which is, we try to keep quiet for the locals even, because the boys ride their cycles through and stuff,
That's probably so.
and, but that was, a very tough situation at one time.
Yeah. Hey, Dennis, do you have any new business?
Nope, I think we covered it all. That was a lot of good information. I think we got some things going in the right direction. That's great.
We should plan to meet in December, or do you wanna hold off and meet again in January?
Whatever works for everybody. If you think we'll have business in December, we can meet. Otherwise, we can hold off till January. What do you think, Bill?
I normally don't have a meeting in December.
Yeah, I think holding off to January would be good.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So we'll do Monday, January 5th.
But you might want to go the 12th, because a lot of people are still, I'd like Jesse to come to that meeting. We'll give him a heads up and see how he's done with those memorandums. And
Yeah.
also if they've come up with a plan on the hiring. just to make sure that moves along, because the hiring process this year was definitely slow.
Yeah. All right, Monday,
No problem.
Monday, January 12th.
That's not the holiday, is it? No, it's
No,
not-
holidays,
no, that's
the
right.
Monday after.
Martin Luther King Day is the following, yeah, no, that's good.
Okay. But, and then, agenda items would be update, Jesse on, street signage,
I saw,
hiring, summer hiring,
summer hiring, yes.
and then, their MOUs with the, um, school board.
And the expiration date of tenure for the members of the Parks Commission. The date that's, the year that's used is the end of the year is when it runs out, not to begin.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure, and I mean, I might not be.
Hillary should have that. Maybe we could get that from Hillary. Katie, could you ask Hillary for the expiration dates for each of the members?
Right, sure. No, it says expires in 2026. I presume it's the end of the year.
Yeah, 2026, that goes through December 31st. That's how I would,
That's the way I'm looking.
yeah. Is that how you would look at it, Dennis?
Typically,
My
it's May.
expiration date ends
It's not.
In May, but
It's term.
yeah, Hillary could give you the exact dates.
Okay.
So if Katie asks them, Hillary will just give her a copy of the appointment notices and when they're up, et cetera.
Okay,
I'm just,
we'll get an official ruling on that.
well, whatever, I was just gonna say an option, say this is my last meeting, or we're going on, no. Alright, so
All right, anything else?
I have nothing else,
Okay.
Motion to adjourn,
Second,
Second.
done,
all set. All right,
All
take care,
right.
Dennis.
the party's
Good night.
over, sir, thank you very much,
All right.
Bye.
take care.